You know, I should probably get back to making videos and not just rambling like a madman for like 20 minutes. But what should I do for the next challenge though? I mean, there's gotta be a good gacha game I can do for the free-to-play Extreme Challenge on. You know, a game that, is still recent enough that people are still playing, and preferably one that's a little different from the last few games I've been doing this challenge on. Uh, but I don't know, I can't really think of one at the moment. Maybe I'll think about it some more after I do a career run on Umamusume. Oh, wait!
サイゲームスウマ娘プリティダービュー
For those that clicked on this video because it's about Umamusume and have no clue what this challenge is, which will probably be everyone, let me explain. The free-to-play Extreme Challenge is a challenge in which I play a gacha game without using the gacha system. The only exception to the rule will be any forced pulls the game gives me and lottery events, seeing as how those will be the only ways I can get any materials or any resources. And that's pretty much how this challenge is going to work. Just one rule. Any questions? Yeah, why not just call it the No Gacha Challenge? Well, that's a good question, and honestly, I thought adding the word extreme to the challenge would make it sound a lot cooler. On a side note, I don't know if anyone else has done a challenge like this before, so if you happen to know if someone has done this before, please let me know so I can give credit where credit's due. And on a bigger side note, this challenge is not meant to be taken seriously. Think of this challenge and video as a low-effort satire where I take a jab or two at a gacha game. Now, you may be wondering, why make a challenge like this? What makes you qualified to make this challenge? Or, how did this video get recommended to me? Now, I don't have a good answer for the last one, because I don't know how the algorithm works, and I suck at making titles and thumbnails, so your guess is as good as mine. But, to the first two questions, I wanted to make this challenge because of how stupid the idea sounded to me. Playing a gacha game without the gacha system, I mean that's like playing Pokemon, but limiting your encounters to one per route, and if it faints the Pokemon's considered dead. That can't be that good. Oh shit. So I figured the idea had potential to be good. It was just a matter of showing it, which I have done for a few games so far. Namely, Fate Grand Order, Shin Megami Tensei DX2, and Disgaea RPG, just to name 3. Man, I really sucked at making thumbnails back then. I didn't get any better, but, slight improvement. There are other games I have done the challenge for, but it has been difficult. Namely, because the one I had high hopes of making a video on ended their service very abruptly, and left me not wanting to make videos like this again. I thankfully got the Disgaea RPG video out before the end of the global release, but this time around I couldn't. So there was a little bit of burnout to a sense as to how to move forward, especially because now I have all of these recordings of Atelier Resleriana with not much to do with it. I mean, the JP version is still up and running, so I could probably make a video on it still. Tell you what, if this video gets, I don't know, 100 likes, I'll play the JP version and I'll make the Atelier Resleriana video. God's forbid this video actually catches traction and people start liking the video, but hey, with all that said and done, let's start talking about the game I'll be doing the challenge on. Umamusume Pretty Derby is a roguelike time management visual novel gacha game released around February 24th, 2021 in Japan and June 26, 2025 for global. And yes, I did throw all those genres at the game. I will explain in due time. For anyone that clicked on this video and does not play the game, I'll briefly explain it here. And for anyone that does play, don't roast me too badly for the poor explaining. The game revolves around you, the main character, a trainer at Tachyon Academy. Tachyon Academy, a school for Umamusumes to train in the hopes of achieving their goals during their time there. An Umamusume, or Uma for short, is the anime horse girl equivalent of the horses that they are based off of in real life. Their design and story tend to be a blend of the horse's career and their jockey, and sometimes you can't even tell the difference between them. Like, come on, you're just showing me the same picture of Goldship twice in a row. As a trainer, it is your job to help an Uma reach their goals. This is what we call a career run. You select an Uma to start a run, 2 Umas to give support, and 6 cards for your Uma to show off at the school. And from there, you decide what they do on a month-to-month basis, with each month being split into 2 parts, early and late. Throughout a career run, the Uma will have their own personal goals to achieve, usually involving around races they want to run, and other times it will be to reach a certain amount of fans. To achieve these goals, it will be up to you to guide the Uma on how they go about each month. This can be either training, resting, recreation, racing, or going to the infirmary. Training is how you raise the stats, rest is to recover energy, racing is where you can choose which race you want your Uma to run in, which races are available depends on the month, recreation helps boost the morale of your Uma, and going to the infirmary can help your Uma get rid of their debuffs if they get any. You can also learn skills at any time if you have the skill points which you earn from races. And that's the time management genre covered. Let's move on to the roguelike aspects. After choosing what your Uma does for a month, there's an event that will take place. These are usually determined by the career or the 6 cards that you gave your Uma at the start of her run. These events can give your Uma a stat boost, more energy, morale, or even hints to new skills to learn. It all depends on what event it is and which dialogue option you choose. After a career run, if your Uma completes their goals or not, they become a veteran Uma. A veteran Uma is everything your Uma has gained during their run from skills to stats. Each veteran is then graded on a sum of everything, from said stats and skills to how far down their career they got. These veterans can then be brought alongside your Uma as one of the 2 I mentioned earlier, giving the Uma a stat boost and even new skills to learn. What the new Uma can gain will be determined by what sparks the veterans have. Oh, what's that? What are sparks, you ask? Pain. They are pain in every sense of the word. Sparks are random things that your Uma gain during their run that can be inherited by your new Uma. These sparks vary depending on what stats they had, what types of races they ran in, to the skills that they learned, all of which are given a rating of 1 to 3 stars, which can be frustrating if you're looking for specific sparks to help certain Umas make up for their okay attributes or boost other attributes. So yeah, I'd say that covers the roguelike aspect. Semi-random events that can make or break a run, and resources you can bring into your next runs. All the while, you keep praying that this is the run that the stars align and you get the sparks that you need to help you out further down the line. Am I venting a little bit? Maybe. Sorry, let my emotions get the better of me. Let's move on to the visual novel part of this game. When you start a career, you get a brief introduction to your Uma. Throughout the run, you'll get to see more of their story being told, ultimately coming to a conclusion once their goals are completed. Some of their stories can be loosely based on their real-life counterpart and their jockey, while their goals are usually tied to the races they competed in. A good example of this would be King Halo. In Umamusume, King Halo is depicted as someone trying to become a first-rate Uma and be recognized by her mother for such accomplishments. In real life, Yuichi Fukunaga, King Halo's jockey, had his mother, who did not want him to become a jockey out of fear of the dangers he may face like his father, Yuichi Fukunaga, a well-known jockey faced. In time, however, his mother became more supportive of him during his career. The same can't be said about King Halo's mother. So there is a slight difference between the two, yet I do appreciate the small homage that Umamusume gives to not only the horses, but also to the jockeys. And that doesn't just show in the story, of course, but also in the character design and the style that not only pulls from the jockey, but the horse's unique nature or origins. For example, Oguri Cap and her hair ornament being based off of the jersey his real-life jockey wore, Agnes Tachyon being a science buff as a play off of her name, to Goldship being an absolute freak of nature she is. All of these choices give the Umas a uniqueness to one another that play well into how their story plays out. So you can kind of treat each career run you do as a route that you would do in a visual novel. The only difference is that the only endings you can get are the friendship ending or the glue ending if you fail to complete their goals. And once you have seen their story through to the end, you'll probably find yourself trying to hold the tab or control button to speed up your story when you do another run with that Uma. And again, that isn't an insult to the story or to those that speed up. It is just the unfortunate fact that the dialogue itself takes up a majority of a career run compared to the racing part. But okay, I'm pretty sure that covers all the genres and the basics of the gameplay. I think it's about time I start talking about how this challenge went for me, right? As for how this challenge has been so far, it's been a challenge and a half. Starting off, I only had the tutorial summons of both Umas and support cards to keep me going, and that was honestly a great start. Just enough to start up, and from there, you just had to keep your wits about you. you see what I did there? Wit. And to get more Umas, I would have to get more shards of said Uma, and there are two possible ways to do that. First is the legend meets that happen every so often. You'll be pitted against an Uma in a race and have to beat them. If you do, you get 7 shards for winning, alongside 10 for beating her the first time. So 17 on the first try, 7 if you win each time after. If you don't win, you still have a chance of getting 7, but it's more likely you'll get 6 or less depending on how close your Uma was to beating them. These don't happen all the time, but I definitely take advantage of them when they do show up. And that's primarily how I filled out my roster with the 1 stars and most of the 2-star Umas. The second option is the daily shop. As you do your daily races, there is a chance for the shop to open up. When it does, it will have 1 shard for 2 different Umas. The shop opens up 3 times a day, so 6 shards in total for different Umas. The unfortunate thing is that the 3-star Umas take 150 shards to unlock, 2 stars is 50, and 1 star is 25. So it may take me 150 days or more just to get a 3-star Uma anytime soon. Not to mention, there are also events happening that all have a free support card you can get with the hopes of limit breaking it alongside some very valuable resources. It unfortunately takes 400,000 event points to get all the copies of the cards, and I usually only get about 14 to 17,000 points, and I don't play all that religiously, so I only have the cards up to limit break 3. Still very useful to have, and it's more support cards to choose from. And I don't think I ever covered support cards, so let me explain those briefly as well. Support cards each have a stat and Uma that they are tied to, plus a batch of skills and events that can occur during a run. A key factor in the cards as well is that they can help your main Uma in training. Each time you go to train, you can see what other Umas or characters will also be at the different trainings. When you choose a training with other characters, their friendship meter will increase with said people. At a high enough friendship with other Umas, you then have a chance to do what is called friendship training. I think that's what it's called, right? comment down below. See, get that viewer interaction going. Comment down below what it's actually called if it's not friendship training. Aha, see? I'm figuring out how to do this YouTube thing. You can tell when it'll happen when the stat that you want to train will have a rainbow outline to it. This training will give you a better stat boost than regular training. There's also the chance to get access to new skills if you see an exclamation point next to the stat you want to train and next to the Uma that will teach you the skill. Plus, if you limit break your support cards with other copies of said card and level it up, they can provide even more benefits, like a boost in stats at the start of a run. So you can see how important it is to bring in the right support cards and veteran Umas. I mean, shoot, there's a video done where someone wins the URA finals with a Sakura Bakushino using only speed cards on a fresh account. Did I take inspiration from said video and try to do that in my challenge? Absolutely. In fact, I did do this with only 2 or 3 speed cards plus another speed card from a friend. Surprisingly, I was able to win the URA finals. The only real struggle is just getting better sparks that can help me in later runs. In the multitude of runs I did with Bakushino, where I got her to max speed, I only ended up getting speed 2 sparks because that was the one time where she was barely under the requirements for a 3 spark. But I think a better example of how important sparks are would be if I talked about Haru Urara. Now, for anybody who has played, you can understand where I'm going with this. For those that don't, let me explain. After you're done bawling your eyes out at the end of her career run, like myself, I made it my goal to get her to win the last race for her goal, the Arima Kinan. The unfortunate thing is that this race is the one that she does not excel in. You see, every Uma has attributes for the different types of races, positions, and terrains, all of which are given a letter grade. B or higher is preferred, at least in my opinion, and when compared to the Arima Kinan, which is a long-distance turf race, Haru Urara is not having the best time. This is where sparks can come in handy. If I get my hands on a turf spark and a long spark, even if they are 1 spark, this gives Haru Urara a chance at raising her attributes by 1 grade. But not only will she get a boost at the start of a run, there's also a chance to get more attribute boost during her career run at 2 points down the line when she goes to a fountain. Long story short, there's a fountain that pertains to the 3 goddesses, and your Uma will go there twice in a career, and the sparks will have a chance to proc to give her more skills and stats. I mean, since she already smokes everyone when she's on dirt, I can only imagine what she's going to do if I got her to A rank in turf. Plus, given the right skills, it'd be very cool to see her run in a long distance team for the team trials. There is a struggle to complete some runs, usually due to either RNG not being in my favor, or just my stupidity when it comes to which stats to train or skills to learn, but the real challenge may come in the way of team trials. Team trials are kind of like PvP to a sense. You build up a team of Umas for the different races and you have them race against other players. Depending on the ratings of your Umas on your team will determine your team's rank. Depending on how your team places during these trial races, you can go up or down in the class rank every week. The higher the class rank, the better your opponents will be. For me, it's kind of a toss-up on how I do against others. It usually goes in my favor, and I have around a class rank 3 or 4. So, all in all, it's easy pickings for me. The challenge has its ups and downs, but nothing I can't handle. Man, I'm so glad there's no try-hard competitive part to this game. I mean, then I'd really be in for a world of hurt. The champions meet. This is where dreams die for the free-to-play fans, and the whales get to gloat their busted teams. Oh, wait, that's just every gacha game. Anywho, the champions meet is a race that will happen every once in a while. Each time the race will be different. For instance, Taurus Cup champions meet was held on a Tokyo turf medium distance left turning track during spring with sunny weather on firm ground. Did I have to be that specific? Yes and no. It depends on how much of a try-hard you want to be. The Gemini Cup, on the other hand, was a Kyoto turf long-distance right-turning track held during spring with sunny weather on firm ground. So each champion meet is different, but the struggle is all the same. The race will be a 3v3v3 race with 3 Umas of your choice going up against 2 other players' Umas. Kinda similar to team trials, but way more competitive. Why, you may ask? Because there's a certain level of mind games you have to play when it comes to the race itself. Now, most people will plan for their opponents to bring in an Uma that will have nothing but debuffing skills. More times than not, you will see it being nice nature, but it could be any of the 3 they bring. So many plan ahead and will learn a bunch of stamina recovering skills. Also, most will plan to take the race around the last corner or straight, depending on the track, so they may bring skills just to overtake the front at that time. So you can see why whales of this game can have an easier time, since they have access to better cards and more skills to work with. Not to say the free-to-play users will do any worse. I mean, they'll make do with what they've got, and sometimes they give the whales a run for their money. Literally. In my case, I'll just be glad if any of my Umas don't end up in last place, cause let's be honest here, I'm just there for the resources. I doubt I will be taking first place anytime soon in these champion meets, and that's primarily due to me not aiming to. My main goal is to just build up Haru Urara to win the Arimakinen. After that, who knows? Maybe cause mayhem and make Bakushino a long distance runner, or even make Goldship into a sprinter. I don't know, just stupid things that'll throw people off the game. So, at the end of it all, is this challenge doable in Umamusume Pretty Derby? Absolutely. Should you attempt to do this yourself? Absolutely not. If you enjoy what Umamusume has to offer, and there's an Uma that you really like, go and pull for her. The Umas themselves have an interesting story and uniqueness that brings something new to the game. As for myself, the challenge has been enjoyable. Sure, it can be meticulous and repetitive when I do the same run for the 8th time, hoping for a specific spark to show up, but it pays off once I finally get my hands on it. I say that now, but who knows when I'll crash out when I don't get my hands on it. So, if you don't mind, I'm gonna go do just that and pray Bakushino finally gets a speed 3 spark. So, I'll catch you guys in the next video. Till then, take care.